Hello everyone, Pallytime here with TGN.TV. This is the continuation of my series where I drop all of the knowledge bombs that you need to know about the Elder Scrolls Online. In today's video, we are covering the alliances in the Elder Scrolls Online, also a little bit of backstory and motivation behind the playable races in the game, so sit back and enjoy the ride. The Elder Scrolls Online features a 3-alliance system, very similar to the idea behind the Dark Age of Camelot. These alliances are the Aldmeri Dominion, the Daggerfall Covenant, and the Ebonheart Pact. Each alliance is geographically separated from the others, and are all in constant battle to claim the lands of Cyrodiil. Races are restricted by alliance in order to, quote, generate and enhance their distinct identity. Basically, they don't want your race mingling with others. You should be proud of where you come from and you should want to fight for it. Now, of course, each race is going to be physically distinguishable from the other races, so that in large-scale world PvP fights with hundreds of enemies on the screen, you'll be able to quickly identify friendly targets and enemy targets. Each alliance's home area is going to feel unique and distinct to that faction, just reinstilling the fact that each faction has their own identity, their own history, and their own things worth fighting for, and it's something that they should be proud of. Southwest of Cyrodiil, the High Elves, Wood Elves, and Khajiit have united to form the Aldmeri Dominion, currently in control over the provinces of Valenwood, Somerset Isles, and elsewhere. They are a new empire intent on imposing unflinching order on the continent. Their capital of Eldenroot is a great city in the heart of Valenwood and is ruled by Queen Aerin, under the sigil of the Eagle. Queen Aerin seeks Cyrodiil for reasons that are both geopolitical and personal. She was an adventurer in Tamriel, like you, before she took an arrow to the knee. Until she suffered personally at the hands of Ibnir Tharn in the Imperial City. Aerin believes that this is the time for the elves to resume their responsibility to rule and to get rid of the warmongering humans. The High Elves were the original settlers of Tamriel and created the common tongue used throughout the continent today. They are also naturally proficient with magic. They see themselves, perhaps justifiably, as the ruling race of Tamriel. They are highly cultured people known for their breathtaking architecture and massive libraries of history and creative works. They tend to be isolationists, however, largely remaining on the Somerset Isles and only emerging when they perceive a great threat to their homeland. The Wood Elves are supreme hunters, guides, masters in sneaking, and also masters of thievery. They are the most gifted archers in all of Tamriel, but because their homeland of Valenwood is often attacked by the Colovian Imperials, Wood Elves are also experts in the art of defense. The population of the proud feline race Khajiit has dwindled in recent years following a devastating outbreak of the flu. They owe a great debt to Aerin for her help in restoring them from the chaos that followed the plague. They are fearsome on the battlefield, however, and are used as the strong arm of the Aldmeri Dominion. Northwest of Cyrodiil, the Bretons, the Redguards, and the Orcs have formed a democratic alliance by the name of the Daggerfall Covenant. They've joined together to utilize their collective military in an attempt to secure their lands and establish a safe, profitable hub for commerce. The Daggerfall Covenant controls the provinces of High Rock and Hammerfall under the guidance of High King Imric and under the sigil of Alliant. High King Imric is an amateur historian of imperial history. For that reason, it's clear to him that when the empire is strong is when times are peaceful for all the people of Tamriel. He, however, sees the empire as a human endeavor, and currently the humans are failing. In response, the Daggerfall Covenant takes it upon themselves to take charge and prevent the elves from creating greater problems. The men and women of High Rock were once ruled by High Elf overlords. Some elven blood still runs in their veins, giving Bretons an innate grasp of magic that distinguishes them from the other human races. Passionate and flamboyant, intelligent and resourceful, the Bretons are renowned and talented craftsmen, shrewd merchants, gallant cavaliers, and inventive wizards. They can also be proud and quarrelsome. Tales of warfare between the kingdoms of High Rock account for much of their history, but most revere the 8 divines and value prosperity over glory. The Redguards of Hammerfall are talented and athletic warriors born to battle. A desert people, their ancestors migrated to Tamriel from the lost continent of Yucada. Their culture is based on preserving ancient traditions and defying their harsh environment. They prize honor and dignity above all else, combining a deep respect for the divine, but a natural suspicion for all things magical. Their capital is a merchant port of Sentinel, but their roots are deep in the sands of the Alkir Desert. In their youth, Red Guards endure a rite of passage in the desolate wastes of Alkir as a test of their endurance and discipline. Only the strongest survive. Though other races have often regarded orcs as barbarians and even beasts, these noble warriors have an ancient culture forged from endless warfare in their harsh mountain homelands. Orcs live under a simple code of honor, which by the strong survive and the strongest rule. As the greatest smiths in Tamriel, their weapons and armor are prized by warriors everywhere. During the reign of the Second Empire, when their kingdom of Orsenum was finally granted provincial status, its restoration actually helped with their devotion to the new Daggerfall Covenant. Northeast of Cyrodiil, there is a warlike coalition of Nords, Dark Elves, and Argonians, former enemies who have temporarily formed an alliance in order to fight for their homelands. This alliance is the Ebonheart Pact. Tensions are uneasy inside the Ebonheart Pact, and even with their combined effort, they still struggle to maintain control of Morrowind, Skyrim, and Blackmarsh. Under the sigil of the dragon, the Ebonheart Pact is led in name by Joran the Skald King. However, a moot of 3 leaders, one from each race, jointly dictates the Pact's military decisions. Almalexia, one of the living gods of the tribunal and one of the leaders of the Ebonheart Pact, is told by mystics that Molag Bal is a great threat to Nirn, and the collaboration between the Empire, Molag Bal, and Mani Marco cannot be tolerated. When the Ebonheart Pact becomes aware of this great threat to Nirn, they mobilize to confront it. The Ebonheart Pact decides to march on Cyrodiil. The Nords once conquered most of Tamriel, and as a result feel a certain entitlement to rule. They broke the power of the Owlids, nearly drove the High Elves out of High Rock, and conquered much of the precursor of Morrowind. The Nords are excellent with arms. They are quick to anger, boisterous and strong. They are natural-born warriors who fight with ferocity that terrifies their enemies. The Dark Elf homeland of Morrowind has been invaded many times by the Akavari and the Nords. This history of conflict has transformed the Dunmer into hardened warriors. They also have a natural affinity for magic and a great intellect, making them very skillful sorcerers. The Argonians are possessed of a cool intellect and are well versed in the magical arts, stealth, and the use of blades. They are also guerrilla warfare experts, long accustomed to defending their borders from invaders. They often serve as scouts and skirmishers for the forces of the Pact. Alright guys, well that is it for me today. This is all of the information that I could find on the internet about the 3 alliances and the races that make up those alliances. I hope you guys feel like you learned something. Thank you to those people who left comments on last week's video letting me know what you wanted me to discuss in future videos. I'm going to start knocking out some of those topics next week. And feel free, if you have anything else you would like me to discuss, let me know down in the comments below. If you enjoyed today's video, please be sure to hit the thumbs up button. And if you are new to this channel, I encourage you to subscribe. I'll be back next week with more Elder Scrolls Online information, and I hope to see you all then.